Ms Legalista here. Thanks for joining in this video. We're going to be talking about Beyonce's hair. She released that new video showing how fabulous and healthy her hair looks. And she talked about how she's been using Cecred. And you guys are now probably wondering, if you didn't know already, okay, what is this that she's using? Where can I find it? This apparently is one of her products, and you want to know a little bit more about it. You want to use it. Well, before you use it, let's check into some of the provisions that are on the website. Now, I'm going to go to the website and we're going to go through the arbitration provisions specifically so that you know what you're getting into before you buy this, because sometimes these beauty products, hair care products, personal products don't always work as intended. Not saying this might be the case with hers, but it's helpful to know what your options are before you purchase a product. So let's head over there and take a look at that. And part of the reason I am kind of laughing here is because the first thing I notice is that, yes, I need to put on my glasses. And even when I put on my glasses, you guys, the print is so small here. Remind me that the next time I update my website and make sure my stuff is up there, because I'm in the process of doing some updating, that I don't have font that's this small. This is just torture. This is torture. This is what you should do to people that you don't like. Make them read terms and conditions that are this tiny. So at the top here, you see Cecred Terms and Conditions. Last revised last month. I'm reading this about a month out. So one of the things that you see when you first get started, okay, it's welcome to the terms and conditions for the website www.cecred.com, operated by or on behalf of Kirby Beauty LLC. Right underneath this first paragraph, you have in all caps. Notice all caps, intended to get your attention. Not way down up in there, but we're going to tell you up front that we have an arbitration provision in our terms and conditions. Section 9, it's starting with telling you, hey, the rest of it, you're going to have to go to the bottom. Section 9 contains an arbitration clause and class action waiver. By agreeing to these terms, you agree A, to resolve all disputes with limited exception related to the company's services and or products through binding individual arbitration, which means that you waive any right to have those disputes decided by a judge or jury. And B, to waive your right to participate in class actions, class arbitrations, or representative actions as set forth below. You have the right to opt out of the arbitration clause and the class action waiver as explained in Section 9. If you're interested in buying any product, one of the things you may want to do, most of the time we don't do this, we acknowledge that, right? We know we don't do this, is check out what your legal options are in the event there's a problem. Typically, what we're used to doing is saying, hey, what's your refund policy? What do I need to have in addition to my receipt? Some places are like, we need your receipt, we need your ID, we need the original card that you purchased it on. So you need to come back with all of those items. Otherwise, we don't have to give you anything, or we just may give you a store credit. A lot of times we're more concerned about the refund policy because we just want to get our money back, or we just want to exchange it, or just want a replacement for that particular item. We don't really think about, well, what happens if this really goes wrong? If this goes sideways, what are my options? We don't stop to think about that. A lot of contracts now have mandatory arbitration provisions in them. Mandatory arbitration provisions aren't necessarily negative or bad all on their own, okay? But when you start tacking in other things like you waive this and you waive that and you can't do this and you can't do that, then all of a sudden the world of legal options that you used to have look more like a county instead of the world. And you want to make sure you understand that that's taking place when you purchase that product, especially products that have the chance of something going really wrong. Example, there is a big difference if you buy, a pack of paper or envelopes and it doesn't close right. And somewhere in the packaging, in the agreement when you ordered it online, it says there is a mandatory arbitration provision that if there's a problem with the item that you purchased, your envelopes or your paper, you can't participate in a class action. Well, there's probably not much that's going to go wrong with your envelope or your paper. But when you're using personal beauty products or personal healthcare products, it then may have an impact on your health or your body. And so when you are looking at something that has an arbitration provision and you go from the world to just a tiny county and your legal options now become limited, well, that's entirely different. And so it's definitely something that we need to start doing a better job of taking a look at. Yeah, that. Let's scroll through this baby size language down to paragraph 9, way down up in here somewhere. I mean, really, I have on my glasses, but this is torture. I am not kidding you. Arbitration and class action waiver. So the title for this section is there, letting you know, hey, what this is about. Please read this section carefully. It may significantly affect your legal rights, including your right to file a lawsuit in court and to have a jury hear your claims. It contains procedures for mandatory binding arbitration and a class action waiver. Again, just a few things to note here. One is, take a look at the fact that the title and that first line not only are in all caps, but they are now in bold. Carefully is underlined. So we have triple emphasized the word carefully. It is in all caps, it is in bold, and it is underlined. They are definitely trying to point out to you that this is something that has a lot of significance and you should take your time with it. You should take your time. Get to know it. Become friends with the arbitration provision in this contract. There's an informal process that is listed there under 9.2. Then you have the costs of arbitration. I'm sorry, was that 9.2? Yes, that was 9.2. Okay, so here's going to be a problem that I have with this, and this may very well be a website issue, because as I'm reading this, just sort of going through the outline with you, just going through the outline, not even digging into the facts yet, because we're going to break this down over a couple of videos, because otherwise I'd just be up here talking to you for an hour. The thing to notice here is there is a problem here with this outline. See how we go from 9 to 9.1 to 9.2, and then when you jump down, it says 9.5. Okay, so the rest of this is actually under 9.2. So 9.3 and 9.4 are actually mixed in with 9.2. So this is not a good setup. This is not how I would recommend that this be done. If 9.3 and 9.4 are really up under 9.2, then they should be like 9.2.1 and 9.2.2 or 9.2A and 9.2B. Do you see what I'm saying? They should follow an outline process. If 9.3 and 9.4 are not supposed to be under 9.2, then we simply have a website issue in terms of formatting, and that needs to come from out of that paragraph so that they are paragraphs of their own. You guys see what I'm saying here? I know this is really tiny, but that would help in people following the formatting and understanding whether or not these provisions are a part of that or not. And like I said, I'm going to look at that in another video. So we have the informal process. We have costs of arbitration, which, then we get back to our regular numbering. 9.6, which is opt out, tells you how to opt out there. 9.7 talks about this waiver of right to bring a class action and representative claims. And as you can see, a lot of that is in all caps. You have 10.1, so then we skip down to 10.1, which says SMS messaging, 10.2, updating of these terms. Okay, so now I'm a little confused, because where is 10? Like 10, so there should be a 10, so 10 should be like we have 9. See how we have 9, arbitration and class action waiver? So we should be able to scroll down here and not go from 9.7 to 10.1, but where is 10? So see 10 over here, additional provisions. So that's just what we sometimes categorize as like the miscellaneous provisions that come after all the other ones. We stick them, all these other things, in a section to themselves. So it looks like there's some formatting issues here that may be difficult for you to follow this along. But to sort of wrap this up, what you want to take a look at is this arbitration and class waiver provision that is in the section 9, even though we've got some formatting issues here, in section 9, and go through those and actually understand the rights that you're giving up. Now, like I said before, it can be a little difficult to follow it along because of the formatting, number one, and it can also be difficult if you are not familiar with some of these legal terms and what these legal terms mean. What are your options? What am I giving up? What do I have to do in order to retain my rights? Take a look at it. Like I said, a lot of you were fascinated with her hair, loved her hair, was, it was nice to see it being healthy and bouncy and looking like it was very much taken care of. And some of you are now saying, I want to go out and try that product also. Know before you buy. All right. Go ahead and, if this video helps you out, increase your understanding of what's going on with this particular product, then give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.